This $2.3 billion sphere in Las Vegas is the world's largest and most technologically advanced four-dimensional spherical structure, truly a miracle of engineering. The MSG sphere is located within the Venetian Resort in Las Vegas and is like no other building you've ever seen. But how was it constructed? How can anyone possibly make a sphere of this magnitude? And why make it in the first place? Join us today as we figure out how and why the world's largest sphere was built. First of all, we have to understand the scale of the structure we're dealing with. We're talking about a monstrous 54,000 square meter, 112 meter high, 157 meter wide marvel with an exterior featuring millions of LED lights. These lights aren't just another pointless party trick. They give the MSG sphere the capability to look like anything and everything with only a click of a button. Useless? Wait till you hear about its applications. Remember the 2026 Soccer World Cup that's going to be held in the US? Well, the sphere will be able to turn into a soccer ball, similar to how it was able to morph into a basketball during the 2023 NBA Summer League Finals. And on Halloween night, you guessed it, the sphere turns into a massive orange glowing pumpkin. From interactive commercials to event announcements, the possibilities are truly endless. But enough of what goes on outside the sphere. What about the inside? Imagine a colossal 16K by 16K high-resolution wraparound LED screen measuring 15,000 square meters. That's 2.5 times the size of the White House. This screen covers almost the entire interior's curved walls and roof, turning it into a real-life video game. The interior also features 4D effects such as wind, sense, and climate control that take the viewing experience to another level. It's safe to say the inside of the MSG sphere is equally as impressive as the outside. But how did it all get started in the first place? An architecture firm known as Populous was responsible for designing the Las Vegas sphere. Early signs for the sphere's success were looking good, as Populous are responsible for some of the most iconic designs around the world, from the 2012 London Olympic Stadium to the Hard Rock Stadium in Florida that hosted Super Bowl 54. The project was first announced in February 2018, with a groundbreaking ceremony being held in September 2018 to celebrate the first day of construction, with the date of completion set to be sometime in 2021. To start off with, everything was going to plan. But then 2020 arrived, and construction would be suspended in March 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and everything came crashing to a halt. After a painful and very expensive 5-month delay, construction restarted in August 2020, and the date of completion had been pushed back to 2023. But that wasn't the end of the MSG sphere's troubles. The pandemic brought delays, but it also brought price increases. Supply chains around the world had become disrupted due to the chaos of the pandemic, and the MSG sphere wasn't immune to these issues. MSG's initial estimates for the project were at $1.2 billion US, but in February 2020, this was hiked to $1.66 billion as a result of design changes. It doesn't end there. With inflation and supply chain issues gripping the planet, the final expected cost for the sphere is estimated to reach $2.3 billion. Yep, billion with a B. That makes it the most expensive entertainment venue in Las Vegas history. This marvel of engineering had a design and construction process that even the best architects would struggle with. I'm talking about a construction crew of more than 1,500 people, all working together to bring this project to life. Just to prepare the site for building, 84,000 cubic meters of dirt was excavated. Construction started in September 2018, and only a year later, sometime around October 2019, the basement and ground level of the sphere had been completed. This wasn't any old basement. The MSG sphere's basement was 80,000 square feet and would be used as a public space for events with bars, retail space, and, in true Las Vegas fashion, a number of gambling tables and slots. Progress was quick, and in December 2019, the sphere reached a height of 65 feet with 4 out of 8 levels built already. It was already looking imposing on the Las Vegas landscape. Due to the size of this structure, normal building equipment just wasn't enough. In February 2020, the world's 4th largest crane had to be set up to lift construction materials. We're talking about the DMAG CC 8800 crawler crane. This crane was transported across the Atlantic Ocean from Belgium to California in pieces. The crane was so massive that once the construction workers were done using it, it took a smaller crane 18 days to disable the main crane. Let that sink in. In March 2020, the sphere was 108 meters tall, and it was all looking great. Then, like we said before, the pandemic decided to show its face, and there was a painful 5-month delay. But in August guess they were back to work and construction restarted. In October 2020, the most complex part of the construction process was completed, which was the lifting of two 240-ton steel girders by the DMAG crane and another 170-ton compression ring. The dome's roof alone required 3,000 tons of steel and began to take shape in March 2021 with the installation of steel trusses. Truss installation was completed in June 2021, which meant it was now time for the exosphere to be installed. This consisted of the interior frame that supports the LED screens and would give the MSG sphere its iconic look. By May 2022, the exosphere was completed and the LED lights could finally be installed. 9 floors were in place. It was all coming together nicely. The interior includes the world's largest ultra-high-resolution LED screen that will display custom displays made exclusively for the MSG sphere. You can't just put a DVD in and pray it'll work. Every piece of content that is shown in the sphere will be fully customized. In fact, the MSG sphere's screen is so unique that it required the opening of specialized studios. In mid-2022, MSG Sphere Studios opened in California to handle the production and post-production work for the interior screen of the sphere. Filmmakers and musicians had to be involved in the production process, as every bit of content shown on the interior screen would have to be created from scratch. This might seem a little unbelievable, but the MSG Sphere Studios itself is a miniature version of the full-sized MSG Sphere. It stands as a 100-foot tall sphere so that the video and audio content can be effectively tested. That's called attention to detail. In front of the interior screen, you'll have 18,600 seats on 9 different levels. The designers arranged the seats so that the venue can be used for all different purposes. We're talking concerts, award shows, MMA fights, boxing events, esports competitions, and more. The entire venue is built with flexibility in mind. As a spectator sitting in the seats of the sphere, you can expect the experience of a lifetime. Imagine viewing the world's biggest and highest resolution LED screen while sitting in a chair that has built-in haptic technology and high-speed internet access. As for sound quality, we're talking about the best of the best. The sphere will be equipped with a spatial audio system comprising of 1,600 speakers installed behind the LED panels and another 300 mobile modules. A technology called beamforming is used to deliver sound to each seat in the same way so that the volume remains equal for all the seats. The sound system is also designed in such a way that sound will be delivered through the floorboards. You heard me right. There's a reason this building cost over $2 billion. Ticket sales were announced in April 2023, and almost 1 million ticket requests were submitted on the first day. In fact, there was so much demand that Ticketmaster announced that there would be no general public sale. But the story of the MSG Sphere doesn't end there. There are plans to build another sphere in London, England, as a similar entertainment venue to the one in Las Vegas. The project gained approval in March 2022, but has been put on temporary hold as a public planning inquiry takes place into the project. As for other locations, there's been talk of MSG planning on building a number of these spheres across the world. Only time will tell whether these plans come through. As for now, we have the iconic MSG Sphere in Las Vegas to admire.